Mabuhay, this is Bob from Love Beyond the Sea. Here's another video about a comment that I got recently. I'm calling this, You Can Still Lead Your Filipina Wife Without Instilling Fear. Please subscribe to Love Beyond the Sea. I want to help men in a relationship with a Filipina. I got married to mine back in 2015. So another comment I replied to, this was on TikTok from a guy named Lone Wolf, of all things, saying, you are the boss. He said on my vulnerability video, never show any weakness. Always keep her aware that you are in charge and keep a little fear in her that you can walk away at any time. Be alpha. Now, I'm not singling him out necessarily. I'm just saying that I've heard this comment many times. So I thought, well, it's on my mind. Let's do a video about that. Now, here's how I replied. As the husband, it is his job to make it work. He started it. He needs to keep it going. Walking away is quitting as far as I am concerned. Now, a lot of people have that sentiment that he has, but I just always smell a little fear here. I think a husband is to impress on his Filipina wife, or any wife, that he is never going to leave her. And she should know that, feel it, believe it. He is okay with weakness because he is weak. We all are. I think my wife respects me for being vulnerable to her. She knows how upset I can get and how emotional and sentimental I can be, but we're side by side snuggling throughout the night after having it out. I think we generally make up pretty quickly. I didn't lose respect with her for being vulnerable. This was in a video about vulnerability. A guy can be a strong leader without his wife being weak and disposable. Like just make her think you're willing to leave and walk away. This sounds MGTOW to me, men going their own way. Is there such a thing anymore these days? I encourage my wife to be totally honest with me, and there are times she is. Sometimes it hurts, and I might not agree with her. And I try to see what I can understand and go from there. Ties into another video idea I have about her feelings are never wrong. Have to know how she is feeling, what her perceptions are. Isa is free to leave me. It's legally, you can't prevent it. But I am not living in fear like this commenter seems to be, because I treat my wife as the prize. And I understand I am to be a servant leader and am responsible for us. I am not the prize. To my way of seeing this, she is. I want to treat her in such a way that despite our differences and tussles that we all go through, that she would not ever want to leave me. I don't want her to feel somewhat threatened. What good does that do? She's not my employee. She's not my slave. And he followed up with, but allowing a woman to control you and take away your freedom is cowardly. Well, sure, we shouldn't allow someone to control us, but where does he get the impression that being vulnerable equals getting controlled or taken advantage of? I don't see that. I have freedom. So does Isa. I don't feel like a coward. I am the servant leader. I do take responsibility for our marriage. My wife isn't ultimately responsible either. I am, and I'm not responsible for anybody else's marriage, it's just mine. And I can do that without being a tyrant or being afraid that I will lose freedom and I am not being controlled. I am early retired, which my wife is okay with. She took the initiative to tell me that first. She doesn't control my activities, and I always let her know what I am doing. Pretty much the same things all the time. Gym, channel, walking, conversing with people interested in a Filipina. Sometimes that takes up most of the day. I have the freedom to do that, and I allow her to work. In fact, I encourage her to apply herself over there. Encourage her, as long as she has a plan for paying something back, then I encourage her generosity. Go ahead and do this, or buy that. Like if she wants to get something for someone she thinks it's a need, it's usually no problem with me. And she just has to have a way to pay for it and to justify it. We've never really had any trouble with that. My wife has, after all, her own Discover card for her things that I don't even look at it. But they're just stuff that's for her. It doesn't go on the rest of our us things on our Visa card. So that's for her. So she learns responsibility with these credit cards. So I think that's something I haven't talked a lot about yet in these videos. But yeah, I mean, she should work if she wants to. And she's going to have to learn how to balance her budget, at least be aware of it, so she's not sending money and then finding out something is due and now she doesn't have enough. My wife has her own checking account and the debit card that goes with that, and she uses Remitly and MoneyGram like I suppose most Filipinos do. We don't control each other, but we do need to make sure that the other person is on board and understands our actions. Just because, I mean, we have our own money, it's pooled in the same place, but if some things want to be just for her, that's fine. I know some things are just for me that have nothing to do with her. And it's our money, but I'm not going to shackle her for something that she thinks is important. That's just how that works. So feeling boxed in and controlled is not what you want from your love beyond the sea.